Hey everybody, you're watching What's Up with Giancarlo. Today I'm going to go over 5.1 and 5.2. Okay, so let's start off with percent increase and decrease. So, finding percent increase, percents can be used to describe how amount changes. Percent change equals amount of change divided by the original amount. Okay? The change may be an increase or a decrease. Percent increase describes how much a quantity increases in comparison to the original amount. So we get amount of change divided by the original amount. The amount of change or as I will start calling it, AOC equals the greater value, minus the lesser value. All right, or GV and LV. That is how you find the amount of change. Moving on. We've got our first example. Amber got a raise and her hourly wage increased from $8 to $9.50. What is the percent increase? So the percent increase means it's going up, which we see is 8 to 950. So first we have to find the amount of change, because to find the percent increase we get AOC over the original price, which is OP. The original amount, OA, or OP, original price. Okay, so to find the AOC, we have to do GV, which is greater value minus lesser value. So we get 950 minus $8. That comes out to 0.5 So we get $1.50 over the OA original amount, which is $8. It is the first number they give you. $8. So let's work this out. Class, always remember, top goes on the inside, bottom goes on the outside. All right? So let me add, we get $1.50. We get 8 right here. Does 8 go into 1? No, we put the 0. The decimal is next, we put the decimal. 8 goes into 15 once. That ends up being 8. You subtract. 1 and 15 minus 8 would be 7. 8 does not go into 7, so I bring down the 0. 8 goes into 70. 8 times, you get 64. 8 times 8 is 64. 70 minus 64 is 6. 8 does not go into 6, so I have to write another 0. Bring it all the way down. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. I get 4. 8 does not go into 4, so I throw another 0 in. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. I know I'm done because I have a 0 here. So find the percent increase, round to the nearest percent. Find the percent increase. We're looking for a percent, round to the nearest percent. So class, when I get a decimal, to make it a percent, I can either multiply it by 100, which would give me 1875, or I just take the decimal and move it over twice to the right to make it a percent. So I get 18.75. But we're not done because it says round to the nearest percent. That means the nearest whole percent. So we're going to look at this 7, and since a 7 is a 5 or higher, it's going to make that 8 go up. So our answer will be 19%. And what did they get? 19%. Bada bing, bada boom, we're done. So the price of a pair of shoes increases from $52 to $64. What is the percent increase to the nearest percent? So 52 to 64. So we have to find our change of amount of change, AOC, and put that over our original amount, OA. So to find the AOC, we do 64 minus 52, and then put that over 52. 64 minus 52 is 12, so 12 over 52. 12 goes on the inside, 52 on the out, 120. 52 does not, got to put my decimal there. 52 is not going to 12, so we put our 0 decimal. 52 goes into 120 twice. We get 104. Cross that out, make it a 1. Cross that out, make it a 10. Now it is 160. 52 does not go into 160. Get another 0, bring it down. Um, 52 goes to 163 times, you get 156. You're going to get 4. 52 does not go into 4, so you put another 0 down, 0. 52 does not go into 40, so I get a 0 there. So class, right now, I can just stop, okay? Because I've got at least 3. So if I do this, if I work this out, if I make it into a decimal, 1, 2, 1, 2, I get 23%. And then the 0 is obviously going to keep the 3 where it is if you round. So my answer, 23%. Let's see if I'm right. Bada bing, bada boom, we're done. Okay? Hopefully everybody's with me. If you're not with me, pause now, rewind, and go back and look at what I just did. Okay? I'm making this video so you can return to whatever problem you're stuck at or wherever I lost you and just watch it over again. So finding percent decrease. When the change in the amount decreases, you can use a similar approach to find percent decrease. Percent decrease describes how much a quantity decreases in comparison to the original amount. So class, I'm going to let you know this right now. Percent decrease is the same exact thing as a percent increase. You do it the exact same way, except a percent increase goes up, a percent decrease goes down. Increase up, decrease down. Okay? Look, the only difference between an increase and a decrease will have the bigger number be first. So David moved from a house that is 89 miles away from his workplace to a house that is 51 miles away from his workplace. What is the percent decrease in the distance from his home to his workplace? We still do the same thing. It's still going to be AOC over OA. Like you see right here. It's just the AOC is going to be 89 minus 51, and then the original amount is going to be the higher one instead of the lower one. So for percent increase, The smaller number will be first. For percent decrease, the bigger number will be first. That is the only difference between percent increase and decrease. You work this out, you do 89 minus 51, you get 38. Then you put 38 over 89, since 89 is the original amount, the first one they gave you. You divide it, you move your decimal over 3 times, so you get 42.7. But they say round to the nearest percent, which always read the directions class. That 7 makes that 2 go up 1, so it's 43%. Boom, boom, boom. Got them. Okay? So the number of students in a chess club decreased from 18 to 12. What is the percent decrease? Round to the nearest percent. Okay, we're going from, first off, I want to put amount of change, AOC, over OA, original amount, just so we all get it out there. So amount of change I find by 18 minus 12 over the original amount is 18. So when I subtract that, this is going to go to 6 over 18. We should all know what it is so far, but let's just divide, work it out. 18 does not go into 6, so I put a 0 and a decimal, 0 decimal. 18 goes into 60 how many times? So 18 and 18 is 36, and then another 18 is 54. So 3 times 18 is 54. I get a 6. 18 doesn't go into 6. You guys see the pattern already? 18 goes into 63 times. 54. 6. Need another 0. 18 goes into 60 3 times. It's a never-ending cycle. So we get our 3 numbers. I rewrite them. I take my decimal, I move it over twice. I get 33.3. They tell me they want me to round to the nearest percent. So this 3 keeps this 3 the same. Since it's 4 below, this just stays the same. I'm going to get 33% as my answer. 33, let's see if I'm right. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Okay? It's over. Move on to the next question. And, oh no, there is another question. Okay. Officer Brimberry wrote 16 tickets for traffic violations last week, but only 10 tickets this week. What is the percent decrease? So it says, what is the percent decrease? It does not say anything about rounding. Okay? So work this out. First off, we write AOC over OA. Then it goes from the AOC is 16 minus 10 over the original amount is 16. We get, well, this goes to, let's do a little arrow, 6 over 16. 6, 16, doesn't work out, decimal, decimal. 16 goes into 60. So I've got 16. I've got 32. I've got 48. I've got 48, and then it would go to 64. So 48 is 3 times. Make that a 5. Make that a 10. We get 12. 16 doesn't go into 12. So we add another 0. And then 16 goes into 120 7 times. We get 112. That becomes a 1. That becomes 10. This becomes 8. 16 doesn't go into 8. 0 comes down. 16 goes into 80 5 times. We get 16, 32, 48, 64, 80. We know we're done because it's 0. And then we rewrite our answer. And we move the decimal over twice. Okay? So we get 37.5. It doesn't tell us to round. Boom. That's it. Do we have that possible answer? B. Yes, we do. 37.5. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. We're moving on to the next lesson. Let's go. No, we're not. Using percent of change. Given an original amount and a percent increase or decrease, you can use the percent of change to find the new amount. So the grizzly bear population in Yellowstone National Park in 1970 was about 270. Over the next 35 years, it increased by about 115%. What was the population in 2005? Step 1, find the amount of change. So we need to find, so for percent of change, we're going to get OA, original amount, plus AOC. AOC is a little different when you're using percent of change. For AOC, it will be the percent times the OA, the original amount. So the grizzly bear population in Yellowstone National Park in 1970 was about 270. Over the next 35 years, it increased by about 115%. What was the population in 2005? So in 1970, there was about 270. So our original amount, 270, multiplied by 115%. It increased by about 115%. So the percent is 1.15 because we have to move the decimal over twice to get it as a decimal. And when we multiply that, it comes to around 311. We get 310.5 exactly. But we're going to round to the nearest whole number. So at that point, the new amount equals the OA, original amount, plus the AOC. So 311 equals our AOC. OA we already know is 270. So 270 plus 311, new amount equals 581. So a TV has an original price of $4.99. Find the new price after the given percent of change. So $4.99 with a 10% increase. So I'm going to do $4.99 times 0.1. And one decimal spot. So it's 49.90. Okay? That is 10% increase. So now I take the original amount, 4.99. I'm going to add it since it's an increase, 49.90. Okay.
Good morning, Falcon Cove. It's a terrific Tuesday. Welcome to December. I guess the cold weather knew it was time. Feels beautiful outside, so we'll see you all have duty posts out and
0,
about.
9, 9 is 18. Carry the 1. That's going to make that 10. Plus the 4 is 14. 4. Carry the 1. 5. My new answer is 548.90. 548.90. Doesn't want to work. And Zam, got him. That's my answer. Now it's going to ask about a decrease. So, class, you do the same exact thing for a decrease, except when you get to this point, you subtract. Everything stays the same, except we subtract in the end. Let's look. You multiply by the percent as a decimal, you get your amount of change, and then you subtract and you get your answer. And that's 5.1. We're done with 5.1. I just like to say I'm Mr. Giancarlo, and everybody remember, when you're watching these videos, you're a part of the class. Stay tuned for 5.2.